Hi everyone. Today I'm actually back at this park since it's my off day. So I'm gonna make some extra content, and I actually have been thinking about the topic of narcissistic abuse a little bit more. And I actually took another poll again with friends, or actually asking some of them about what kind of topics that would be helpful for those who are interested and who are struggling. And okay, I actually have two topics. I'm actually going to make more videos about. Um, so, okay, I'm going to make a very short video for now. It's actually about the warning signs of narcissistic relationship, or as you would call it, a situation or situationship, or even manipulationship. Okay, so today I've actually I was just looking at my notes, and I have about 14 different points. Those are based on my own personal experiences, and also I'll be actually answering the question basically what are the warning signs of narcissistic manipulationship, or what we call I mean, in more common lay terms, a toxic relationship that which I turn a blind eye to. Okay, the points are not in terms of they're not ranked in terms of importance, so you can just sit through all of it. So the first one is actually constant interest and love bombing over the first few weeks. So I think that most of you all know that narcissistic relationships are very often um, characterized by this thing called cycling. You have this initial phase where the narcissist actually bombs you with what seems like love, like all the bombing of um, your social media, your phone, even your life, your own personal life. They overwhelm you with everything. So the interest is actually very intense in the beginning. It might seem very much as if they're interested in you, but very often um, this comes with ulterior motives, and as we all know later on, and they use that to actually hook you in. Okay, the second one the second warning sign is actually searching social media and internet profiles of the person in question, basically the narcissist, including those that they never told me about. So, this was in search for information which I was not told directly about. Yeah, so once you have to do this detective work, um, on social media, and that's to actually make up for things that they never told you, it's a warning sign. Okay, the third one is actually okay, for me it was actually taking out tarot cards for readings when in constant duress over emotions, my own personal emotions, and also the state of the relationship, and also seeking a so-called higher voice instead of my own gut reaction. So the tendency to actually distrust myself, and to actually search for forms of authentication elsewhere, possibly in spiritual sources. Yeah, that's the another red flag. Okay, the fourth one is disregarding the good-hearted advice and warnings of friends who are watching on the periphery of the relationship, especially if the relationship has declined into emotional violence, or sometimes even physical violence. You might actually, for me, I'm quite thankful that it hasn't fully declined. I mean, it didn't really decline the physical violence at that stage. It was only too short of 3 months, but even then, the emotional violence and the verbal abuse was quite intense. So yeah, disregarding good friends, good-hearted advice is actually a warning sign that you're in a pretty toxic relationship. Um, okay, the fifth one is actually brushing away the moments of rage and sudden anger which I witness. Yeah. You all might know that narcissistic rage is actually quite obvious and prevalent in narcissists. They get triggered on the hairline. Sometimes it's over the most ridiculous things that you never thought that they would be angry over. I think at that point in time, most of us would just wonder, is there anything wrong with me for them to do that kind of stuff, to blow up just like that. I think that is actually dangerous to brush away the moments of rage. So once you see that it has actually happened, to start taking notice, and especially if it actually evolves into any form of violence. It need not be physical, it could be just verbal. You should start making plans to exit that relationship. Okay, and even if it's not really romantic relationship, you should be making plans to leave it or distance yourself from it. Okay, the other one, the sixth point, is actually constant criticisms and alleged indifference towards my endeavors, which didn't really match up with reality. So I might have told quite a number of y'all that the narcissist in my life was actually constantly criticizing me back then, like 6 years ago. But it's kind of weird. One of the narcissists anyway, there are quite a number of them actually. But one particular one was always claiming to be indifferent towards what I did. But it doesn't really match up. In real life, if you are not really concerned, why then were you constantly angry with me when I mention it, or when I actually just did it on my own end? And I mean, you cared so much about whether I was doing it, whether I was doing well, whether I was doing badly. And in fact, there seems to be kind of like schadenfreude when I actually didn't do a sense of schadenfreude. Yeah, the sense that you're happy when I don't do well, or when I back out something. I mean, they don't really their treatment of you doesn't really match up with reality. Well, not reality, with the words that they say. Okay, number 7 is the feeling of walking on constant eggshells and fear, which didn't go away after weeks. So yeah, this is one thing. When you feel constantly not triggered, just triggered, but you feel fearful for yourself. You don't know when they'll blow up, when they'll start doing things like stonewalling, criticizing you, hurting you emotionally, verbally. Once you have that feeling of walking on eggshells, that's another red flag. Okay, there's another one, the 8th one. It's actually a constant loss of money and business deals when you hang around with them. I know that this is not exactly always being talked about a lot, but as I've said, that when you hang around narcissists or narcissistic people, even if they they claim that they are really concerned for you, most of the time they don't end up being happy when you do well. So they do things to try to sabotage you. I remember that the narcissist, who discarded me, that was like 6 years ago, sent sort of friends or acquaintances after me. And at that point in time, my friend was saying, "Oh, I mean, are they like doing intentionally, or is it just that a coincidence?" And I said, "No, nothing is coincidental with narcissists. They plan everything." Okay, so they try to like even send people to find you at your workplace, to ask where your workplace is. It's like goodness, it's like a 24/7, 24 hours detective job, asking you about your jobs, trying to mess up your life and stop you from going to work in a good state. And sometimes even if it's not that, they will try to hinder you from getting one. They try to find out like what you're going to do next, so that they can stop you from getting a job. That's how crazy they malignant they are. So perennial loss of money and business deals when hanging around with them. Yeah. Okay, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, point number 9 is a coterie circle, okay, of friends, confidantes, and co-conspirators, okay, whom they, being the narcissist, seem to be extremely close to, more so than to me. Okay, when I say a coterie circle, I mean an inner circle. I think that it's been said that these co-conspirators are always called, what's that? Those crows over there, yeah, T-Cots by Telsha on the T on MPD and relationships. You notice that eventually that in a point in time that narcissistic people, they don't actually really care about those who are close to them. It's kind of ironic, but those who actually can serve them, who help them in their nefarious plans for evil and for manipulation, those people are actually their close confidantes, and they will help them do evil things. Yeah, they treat them better than you, even if you are like, let's say, their boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, or even family member. So yeah, and they even treat these so-called co-conspirators like lovers or business partners. Yeah. Okay. Number 10. Another red flag and a warning sign of a narcissistic relationship is actually inconsistency of words and behavior, such as that claiming that they are monogamous, that they do not get into sex unless they are in love with that person, but in fact they have had lots of sex and hookups with random strangers. Okay, that is the 10th point: inconsistency of words and behaviors. Okay, number 11. Okay, this is a very, very dangerous one. I think that you should start paying attention when you see that it is a refusal to let you know about their background when they are younger. Okay, this is something about narcissists. They want to know everything about you, so that they can use you, abuse you, know where your weak points are, but they don't want you to know about them. They are very secretive. So yeah, so a refusal to let me know about their background when they were younger. Okay, that's a red flag. Okay, this is actually related to the point about inconsistency, the point number 12. Feigning as in faking, or pretending indifference and aloofness with folded arms. Not everyone might experience that, but for me, I actually witnessed that. It was like, this constant attempt to stonewall you, and when you claim that it was actually, it was actually anger. Okay, so when they are angry, you might realize that some of them, not all, but some, and in my case too, with that narcissist in my life, formerly, they tend to actually fake indifference and aloofness with folded arms, when actually they were really, really angry and they were raging. Okay, and number 13 is actually a secretiveness about their family and friends. If you notice that the other person doesn't exactly uh, share, or share things about you with their family or friends, or you're distinct from their circle of friends or their family circle, you should be, taking notes, and you don't know if they are actually just treating you as like someone in the interim before they move on to someone else. Okay, and the final one was actually on point number 14, is actually dangling the carrot. Basically is such as, floating by you the possibility of meeting up after moments of silent treatment, and also ghosting. And this dangling of the carrot is something you need to watch out for. They keep on giving you false hopes, telling you, maybe we'll meet up, I'll bring this place, I'll do you treat you to some none of it actually comes true. And it's not just that, but they treat you worse. Okay, so I think that these are the 14 points, at least that I've observed. There are probably more, but in any case, if you have any more points or questions to add, to actually note them down in the comments and let me know. Okay, thanks very much. Okay, I'll see you again. Bye bye.